In the heart of the sprawling, dimly lit Facility 29, the air was thick with the weight of secrets and the rustling whispers of confined anomalies. Isaac, a fresh recruit for the SCP Foundation, was both excited and terrified. His training had prepared him for a life of abnormality, yet he had always imagined the real thing would be far more sensational. However, nothing in his training could prepare him for what lay behind the steel doors of Sector D. Isaac had only been on the job for 3 weeks, but today was different. He was assigned to assist in the monitoring of SCP-453, a seemingly innocuous ceramic coffee mug that had the unsettling ability to alter its surroundings based on the emotional state of the person using it. The mug was a prime example of mundane horrors and contained a creeping threat that sparked curiosity in the minds of the new recruits. The control room was a blend of high-tech screens and rugged steel walls, punctuated by a persistent humming noise that seemed to vibrate through Isaac's very bones. Together with Dr. Marla and several other staff members, he peered into the observation chamber where the mug sat on a basic table, accompanied by a clipboard and an array of constantly blinking instruments. "It's harmless, for now, drive," Marla reassured Isaac while adjusting her glasses, the screens casting eerie reflections onto her fretful face. "Just watch how it reacts when someone uses it. Observe, record." But the atmosphere in the room grew heavier as the hours dragged on. They spent the day observing and noting the subtle changes in the mug's floral patterns, blooming into darker, more sinister designs with every shift in emotion from the test subjects. As twilight seeped through the narrow windows, signaling the end of the shift, things took a turn for the worse. When one of the junior researchers inadvertently knocked the mug over, spilling dregs of cold coffee onto the floor, the entire room went silent. Everyone turned to the screen, their breath hitching as they watched the patterns on the mug twist and churn violently, the colors swirling together to form something grotesque, a vivid illusion of tortured faces. "What is happening?" Isaac whispered, heart racing as adrenaline coursed through him. "Security breach. Lock down the chamber, Doctor," Marla shouted, but it was too late. Before anyone could react, the room flickered with the chaotic energy the mug emitted, the very fabric of reality warping. An intense pressure built in the room, and the lights trembled above them. Everything became disjointed. The sounds of panic echoed, distorted, as if they were trapped in a hall of mirrors. Suddenly, the mug shattered, its shards scattering like broken promises. But it was not just ceramics that fell. An apparition emerged from its depths. It was a warped figure, cloaked in black, its features shifting like shadows in a storm. Dark waves of despair surged through the control room, sinking into the hearts of everyone present. Isaac felt himself drawn toward it, an unbidden urge pulling at his very soul. The entity moved closer, seeping malice, with eyes like coals of hatred, as if the darkness within it spoke directly to the fear nestled inside him. "Join us," it whispered. "Embrace the darkness." In that moment of horror, Isaac understood the true nature of SCP-453. It was not just an object, it was a conduit feeding on their fear, their insecurities, and their deepest regrets. It was alive, and it craved company, the company of those who knew despair in all its forms. "No, get away," Isaac shouted, breaking free of the trance, managing to dart back toward the control panel in the chaos. Flipping through protocols like a madman, he frantically activated the containment protocols. "Containment breach protocol initiated," blared through the loudspeakers, and every door in the facility clanged shut. Alarms blared, echoing the simple, desperate need for survival. Dr. Marla and the remaining personnel rushed to grab the emergency fire extinguishers, engulfing the fractal shapes of the entity momentarily. The darkness splintered wildly, shrieking in rage and agony, producing sounds that shivered down bones. And just as suddenly as it appeared, the entity shrieked, crumbling into the swirling remnants. The room grew silent, the only sound that lingered was the heavy breathing of everyone present. Hearts raced, and eyes darted, as they stepped back across the room, waiting for something else to emerge. Sweat dripped down Isaac's forehead, he wasn't sure they had contained the threat entirely. Isaac turned to Dr. Marla, barely able to voice his question. Was it gone?" Dr. Marla closed her eyes, trying to regain her composure. "We don't know. The Foundation always gives us room to doubt. We have to monitor this. We need to report." But before she could finish her thought, The lights flickered again, and a deep voice permeated through the intercom, sending ice into their veins. "You can have your light, but you'll always return to darkness." With that, the Foundation's lights flickered off completely, swallowing them into darkness. The shadows whispered of things yet to come, and the fear surged once more. In that chilling moment, Isaac realized he had joined the ranks of those who carried a weight much heavier than a mug. He was now an unwilling keeper of SCP-453's secret. But he wasn't sure he could ever keep it contained, nor escape the horrors it promised to bring.